Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, y'all know I roll with Joe. I'm gonna tell you from jump. Joseph Parker, heavyweight on the weekend, had a very dominant performance against Derek Chisora. You know, War Chisora, not Del Boy no more. War, because Derek Chisora showed and proved he's War Chisora. Now, a lot of people are saying Derek Chisora should retire right now. Probably, because you never know. Those guys that are in wars and taking punches, don't sound the same now. For example, in Evander Holyfield, who we know moved up in weight and was probably one of the biggest warriors ever. The Real Deal was a great moniker because the Real Deal Holyfield is coming to fight. And he was fighting a lot of time bigger people, and he was in the pocket trying to do something against them, right? And so, but he took a lot of punishment over the years, and I don't think he talks the same. But, so we don't really want that to happen to Chisora, so, let's see, maybe he should. But that's not the point here. The point here is Joseph Parker won the fight, dominant performance. And I think Joseph Parker probably opened a few eyes because a lot of people understand, even though Chisora is on the downside of his career, has had losses, he's only lost to pretty elite fighters in most cases. And, and of late, he's been very fit. But let's get this straight. Joseph Parker won that fight 2 times, 115 to 111, and 1 time, 114 to 112, which is a unanimous decision. So we shouldn't have anything to go because we can kind of move on. But y'all know Doma has a problem with moving on with things. That's the problem. Criminals always like people to move on. That's what criminals want. Because they know they're evil and they're criminals. But they know you're not. You turn the cheek, move on. We expect them to get better and do better the next time. They expect that. That's what an evil person knows, that everybody's not evil like them. But let me tell you something. 115, 111 is still winning by 4 rounds. 114, 112 is blasphemous. For those that don't know how boxing is scored, after a round, it's a 10-point round for the winner of the round, 9-point round for the loser. Right? So it's 10-9. Unless there's a knockdown, then it goes to 10-8. 2 knockdowns, 10-7, and so far, etc. Right? And sometimes, there's 2 things I don't like about that, though. Sometimes, like we had Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn. I will never forget that. Jeff Horn, Manny Pacquiao was on him in round 9 against Jeff Horn, but Jeff Horn stood up. And so my point about that is if you stand up, then it's a 10-9 round. You didn't fall down, right? That's why it's 10-8 for those who fall down, right? They wanted to give Pacquiao 10-8 round there just because he was aggressive and had him in trouble. I think, no, you reward the guy for not falling. That's why it's a 10-8 round. So sometimes they try to, bend the rules a little bit here, right? Right? And I also think this, the Derek Chisora, I'm going to be, I wasn't going for Chisora, I was rolling with Joe, but I do think this, you got the ropes, and when somebody gets knocked down or gets knocked off balance, and he's held up by the ropes, I wouldn't even give that a knockdown, but we do. But I wouldn't, even though Derek Chisora, because my point, if you got knocked down and your equilibrium's gone and all that, but you were able to back up and still hold yourself up with the ropes, whatever. You don't really have to call it a knockdown, but they do. So those are a little 2 discrepancies. Because my point here is that when people do their best to stand up after a good punch, they should be rewarded. But at the end of the day, 10-8 rounds when you get knocked down, right? So we got 12 rounds. Now, your boy Derek Chisora was knocked down in 3 separate rounds. Right? 3 separate rounds. That means he's already 6 points up. So, you got 9 other rounds. What those scores are telling you is that basically Chisora won the rest of the fight. Close, but won the rest of the fight. Now take the damn knockdowns out of the fight, totally. And Joseph Parker still wins that fight. Right? Chisora came a few times in spurts, had flashes of coming back and being a War Chisora and all of that. But that was after, the reason why it looked so awesome is because it was after him getting beat up for the whole round. So then he came back with a couple of punches. That doesn't mean he wins the round. He still lost the round. So here's the thing. Joseph Parker should investigate it. Just for the point of those judges not getting away with it. I've been saying it for years. They need to go to a justification booth after the fight. You sit down and watch the fight with some 2 or 3 people that are definitely separate from this thing, totally extended. Don't have anything to do with it. They're not under a sanctioning body. They're arbitrary. Have nothing to do with y'all. You sit down with them and explain your actions. Explain what you're judging. But since they don't have to, and they just, getting paid by one of the promoters, then these things continue to happen. Now, what if this was a fight that was closer or whatever, and they were able to take it from Joe? And see, that's the point. It's about the future. Joseph Parker been over there in England. I know he likes England, right? But he's been over there, and he's been getting duped, right? He got duped with Joshua, duped with Dillian White, right? And he shouldn't be over there messing around. Okay, Huey Fury, he fought over there too, right? He won that one. Close. It was a close one, but Huey Fury shouldn't have been that close because Huey Fury shouldn't have got no title by not letting his hands go at all, right? And Joseph Parker, he won the first fight against Chisora too, but it was too close for comfort. This one, he was a blowout actually, and he didn't get it. You have to make these judges understand, right, that they can't get away with stuff like this. And another thing, they need to have headphones on. Judges should be oblivious to sound, is how I think. That's the only way we're going to get this done. They have to be oblivious with sound, because if you're not oblivious to sound, then you're going to do the same thing that the crowd does, which means whoever the house fighter is or the hometown fighter or whatever, whoever they're going for, doesn't really have to land. He can just throw punches and it's cool. Or I've seen some of the people they like who can evade punches and it's cool. We know most of the people, when you evade punches, they don't like you. Especially, I ain't going to even say that. Not in this video. I'm going to try to keep it up. But some people are able to evade punches and they like it. And some they evade punches and they don't. Right? This is the way boxing is, right? But a judge should be oblivious to all of that. Right? So I know Joseph Parker is not going to do this, but I just think that it warrants an investigation, the scorecards of the Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora fight. 115, 111. 115, 111. 114, 112. In a fight that I don't know if he lost the round or so. Let's say Chisora won 2 rounds maybe. If we're being cool here or something like that. But you were knocked down in 3. How do those scores turn out like that? Boy, boxing. Boxing, you always got something to say, don't you? Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm about to hear y'all.